ESL Southeast European Championship.
We gotta be honest though. I mean, at this point, it is a chance for Sinners to get.
How has he been able to just shift through like that? He's not getting
Oh!
He will maybe another ace on the
Man!
4 kills, 1 player left, and then he the ace.
And here comes the Bane with the double kill. And here comes the follow-up. And Jack is waiting to follow up there. And we see the triple kill come out and taking down Poppy. And they are continuing to push this one. You are going to want to get out of there. You don't want to die to that one. But there comes the Quadra. Are we going to see the Penta?
Red Bull gives you wings.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Get your team apparel now at shop.eslgaming.com.
got to think Lagamonster's going to release the shot. Does, in fact. His teammate's gone down, and BTN, well, he probably shouldn't have survived getting through A main at all. That was being covered off, but the missed shot, I think, cost Primordial big time there. So impressive on map 1. I'm just super disappointed that they haven't brought that form here. Blitz does deliver a nice little moment there, gets himself a weapon as well. Steffo, he has shown a proclivity for good entries, but not going to help if he cops the off shot as he walks into the leg. Mark takes him down. And
there you go. I am not in position to stop the rush, so the bomb will go down, and that's all that Primordial really wants. They'll lose the players, but bomb plant, that's basically all they need. Zell with a fairly sexy looking flick there to clean up Orzek. But
there we go, Primordial into the bomb site they go. Jaxi catching them off actually, drops the bomb, recovered himself an AK and gets a third. In fact, could he get a fourth? He gets a fourth. Jaxi, he just blows them off the server. As you can see, we are live. We're just waiting for the players to show up on the server, so do apologize. I was expecting everybody to be here, but everybody isn't here just yet. So please be patient while we wait for the players to join the server. I'd love to play you some music or something like that, but I don't actually have control over the production elements of the stream. So please do stick around. We will get the game going pretty soon. I'll try to find out from the guys why it hasn't gotten going yet, and I'll try to keep you guys updated. Thanks for joining for ESL SEC Season 7.
never gonna let you wake from this. If you think you'll break me down, I'm loving when you call me out. You're running in circles now, but you got nowhere to hide. You better say your last goodbyes and wipe the tears from your eyes. Too late to apologize. Now you got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Welcome to my wicked world of illusion. Wanna make you disappear, but I know you won't. In the madness of the smoke and confusion, now you see me. It's not something that you wanna remember. I swear this is something that you wanna forget. If you think that you're alive right now, keep dreaming. I swear I'm never gonna let you wake from. If you think you'll break me down, I love it when you call me out. You're running in circles now, but you got nowhere to hide. You better say your last can dream again. I'll tell you all my secrets, wearing courage like a second skin. The kids are all dying, we're dying to believe again. Run through the open streets, we take what is needed. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we live for it, we live for forever. We can dream all night till the sun rises. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever. I'll meet you at the airport. You know that we can touch the sky, dancing in the aisles. We're skating on clouds of fire. The kids are all dying, we're dying to believe again. Run through the open streets, we take what is needed. Open up the skies, see the heavens clearer. I could change your mind, we know where we came from. Set our hearts on fire, the dreamers are all here. We could change your mind. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we die for it, we live for forever. They say you're only young ones, but we live for it, we live for it, we live for forever.
Well, it does look like we're finally ready to go here. Viewers, thanks for sticking around. It's Primordial versus Infamous. It's ESL Southeast Europe Championship Season 7. This is the pistol round. got Primordial versus Infamous. Infamous starting with a map deficit in this series. So it's going to be a little bit difficult for them, but they're going to have to do their best to come back into it. Meanwhile, Primordial will start with a good advantage here because of the one map deficit given here to Infamous. And there's a push from the CTs. They're doing their best here and trying to push forward and get some work done. And Orzik gets some serious work done. In fact, gets 2 kills before he gets traded off there. So 3v3 right now. We've got players alive on both sides. And the location of the bomb was figured out by the CTs, but of course they don't really want to push forward now with their numbers having been thinned as they have. Some rotation towards B coming out from Infamous, so they're going to try to sneak their way in there. There is one player there, however, waiting for them. But then that's Cusco, one of the better players for Primordial as well. So if he lands a few shots, and we know he can, could possibly slow them down. His best hope here is to try to slow them down and make sure that he stays alive for the rotation to come in, because they are banking on it being A. They've got 2 players there, and now the jig is up. They know where he is, and he knows where they are as the bomb goes down. So some rotation coming in for Cusco. He just needs to stick around here, not get too aggressive just yet. Teammates are coming in there. Sack, the ex-Epsilon player, gets himself the first kill. In fact, Revi going down. The fight being taken with Cusco will not be won by Nyx. 3v1 now, and Whiskey, he's got to do something amazing, and he's not going to do anything other than do a rather artful forward kick there as he goes down. Primordial, they take it back after the bomb plant for Infamous, so starting out pretty well there for the CTs is that particular pistol round. Of course, the buy-up will come from Primordial as well, going with 3 rifles. Always a good thing to do on a map like Overpass. You do want to make sure that you have enough potential for long-range engagement, because there are some very long distances on this map compared to some of the others. Meanwhile, Infamous not going for the full force, of course, because they did get the bomb down. So going to be going for the AKs in the next round, but still got pistols that are somewhat dangerous here. Everybody congregated towards those bathroom areas at the moment and very passive from the CTs. They're making sure they're sitting back in the pocket, not getting too aggressive right now. But you'd think that the game would be up as soon as a little bit more action comes out of those terrorists. They're making quite a bit of noise and still very, very passive out of Primordial. Just creeping forward here ever so slightly. Felix on the angle here to deal with them, but he could get shot in the back potentially. Thankfully for him, he's got Orzik watching his back. And that will be the first kill there for the CTs. Also some damage dealt here. Orzik particularly low. But Lager Monster on the angle there gets himself a couple kills in the bag there. His nade might also yield a bit of damage. Actually didn't do anything, so must have flown over the head. Lager Monster, meanwhile, he feels that he could maybe get something done here. Smells blood in the water and is going to add to it. Reap some blood of his own. There's the 2-0 for the CTs, and we will see that AK buy come in the next round here. Hey, Mr. Prophecy, are you finally with us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay.
So we are ready here with this next round. The first buy round coming in. Revi gets himself a very nice kill there. Orzik on the angle. Possibly could spray a bunch of them down, but he's only going to get the single one. And quite a bit of control here coming in. Unless Cusco's got something to say about it, but he will go down. And CT's now reeling a little bit from that 2v4.
Sorry. My PC's
Is your PC still giving you trouble?
I'm... Yeah, something like that. Hold on. Seems like maybe we can get it going soon.
Okay, good. Talking about getting it going, the Teasier will have the particular round. To answer the question in chat, yes, this isn't Nexus versus Infamous. As you can see, it's Primordial versus Infamous. I don't know why it would be saying something different. Let's maybe just update the page. Maybe that'll give it the correct title. I don't know. Maybe was it showing the wrong title there on the stream? I hope not. Meanwhile, Infamous with their first round there. 2-1, and Primordial, they should still be able to, if they really want to go for a buy, but it won't be a good one. And I think they're maybe going to do the better, more considered thing here and not invest. We'll have to see if these slightly nerfed CZs are going to do as much damage as the Primordial boys will want them to do. On a map like Overpass, of course, you don't really want to relinquish economic control that early on, and already under quite a bit of pressure after just losing the single round. So we've got one player pushing off B there for the CTs, getting a bit of information, getting a kill for it as well. It's Zach there on Revy. Nice headshot for him. And an AK recovered as well. Might want to chuck one of those over to one of his teammates with armor. Only two players, that's Kusko and Orzek with the armor. Felix on the angle, he could get something done here, and he does in fact get a kill. But the trade's flying in here thick and fast. 3 kills there for Infamous, leaving just Zach and Orzek in a pretty difficult situation. Orzek isolated on the site right now, and he's the only one with armor. Zach's got the AK, but doesn't seem quite ideal. Let's see what they do here. Slowing down for Infamous. They've decided not to necessarily push it just yet. Maybe want to keep them guessing and go for the long rotate towards B. So we've got Zach just hanging out there, still waiting for some action to happen. And he might just be right here. Gets the headshot and the follow-up as well. That's some fantastic play out of Zach, and there's no time left. He's won the round there by being super patient. That's some incredible work out of the player there for Primordial. And that will be... Oh, the last kill coming in for Orzek as well. That's some fantastic work. But yeah, here we go. Another round for Primordial, and looks like we're in a pause situation as well. Cocast is still struggling a little bit with some technical issues, so I do apologize for that. Hopefully we can sort it out.
Yeah, is it? No, never mind.
Let me just... Are you having some trouble with the link there?
I've got the link, but my internet doesn't seem to enjoy this level of quality.
Sorry, I'm typing away out of the admin. Hopefully we can fix it. Sorry about this, guys.
Okay, wait. It seems stable. Am I that lucky?
I hope so. I hope you've got it going there. I don't know why these teams aren't on strafe. I can't answer that. I'm sorry. I would tell you if I knew. So I'm sure you know, Prof, that Infamous are actually down a map in the series already. And
yeah, they forfeited, did they not?
See, they don't want to call it a forfeit though. They're just saying it's a map disadvantage. But actually, it's because they're late. they didn't show up on time for the game. We are delayed by 40 minutes.
Oh, okay. So they did a Mr. KNG.
Something like that, yes. We'll see if Primordial can put them away, or if it's going to be a relatively long series or not. It could still go to 3 maps. The maps are still being played in the same order. There's no difference there, but the difference, of course, is that if Infamous loses this map, then it's pretty much over in the series for them. And of course, if that does happen, we'll get to catch up on the schedule just a little bit.
That sounds pretty good.
It does, I guess, except if you are an Infamous fan. So apologies if you are. We do want to catch up on the schedule, but of course we would have much preferred a game that gets played properly as opposed to this sort of thing. And right now, again, long pause, yeah, for some kind of technical issue for Infamous. So I guess we'll have to see just how long the admins are okay with waiting with this team for.
Yeah, it is a bit of a pity. I mean, Infamous has had a rough couple of days, to be fair.
Oh yeah, they got roughhoused by Nexus in a rather unflattering manner, yes?
Yeah, back to back, different days.
No thanks. Definitely don't want that to happen to you. We've got Nexus coming up just a little bit later against Toxic, and that's actually now the top of the table clash because Toxic sitting on 9 points there, Nexus now on 6, so Nexus has got the opportunity to draw level. And for Toxic, they've got the opportunity to put some space between themselves and everybody else. So that one's actually got something to play for.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, I think Primordial, last time they played Nexus, they beat Nexus, did they not? Pretty certain they did.
Yes, I think they did, actually. I want to go and look at those results now, actually, because you're intriguing me here. Let me go look. But it does look like we are back, and I think this is a sub. He wasn't playing earlier, was he? Oh, he was.
No.
He's got 4 deaths, so okay. I didn't notice then. Don't recognize the name, but again, players do change their names quite a bit, so sometimes it leaves us in the dark a little bit when it comes to who's actually playing. Definitely not the best buy for Infamous, yeah, hey?
No, most assuredly not.
Yeah, you're right. Primordial did beat Nexus the last time they played, and I think that was also born off the back of Nexus playing some really questionable CS, pushing, trying to knife them, those sorts of things. Same sorts of things we saw the other day, except it didn't work that time.
Yeah, I remember Primordial giving them quite a handy beating on a number of the maps.
Indeed, so right now not too much going on, of course, hence why we're not really talking about the round, because everybody's being super passive, and unfortunately super passive also means super boring most of the time. And that is also interesting that we've got a player with, I was going to say, with no weapon. Maybe you can pick up a weapon off that player that Mars managed to get thanks to that boost. Bomb site take will be coming in, and they've got players waiting for them here. They need to deal with these tunnel players, and there will come the spray down from Orzik, but only gets one. And Cusco, this is actually really smart from him. If he gets both, it'll be fantastic, and it is fantastic. 2v2 now, and Lager Monster moving in for the kill. Very nice from Lager Monster, but he's not able to stop the bomb plant there. And that's going to trigger Nix to try to get out of there and maybe just move around to another point of contact so that he's not in the situation here where he could potentially lose the long-range battle and somehow wins the long-range battle there with the MP7 and dinks the last player. Felix pretty low. Still a 1 round for Primordial, but that was way more expensive than it needed to be, and that will be 4-1. Still struggling with your link there?
I'm just going to say the glories of the South African internet are many and varied. Because I get to watch 1 second every 5 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds wonderful. I guess the other option is drive across town to cast. But that's up to you. Meanwhile, for Infamous, their destiny's in their own hands, and it doesn't look like as wonderful a destiny as you might hope for, considering the weaponry they've got. It's a pistol force, and I think they're going to struggle a little bit against these rifles for Primordial. Still, Primordial's money has been kept rather in check here, so you know, if Infamous managed to get a bunch of kills, maybe even by some miracle win this round, that could seriously set the CTs back. Definitely not making for fantastically entertaining CS here with how passive both teams are being. got Nix, who's now in a fairly forward position, but he hasn't seen anybody because Primordial is just being that quiet and making sure that they're not over peaking or anything. Should see the tie take now with 40 seconds coming in. Legomonster's about to receive some unwelcome visitors. Felix also missed the shot there, which could have potentially bit them, but he got the second, which is okay. Whiskey and Martha with the replies, which could make this quite big. And the bomb plant going down, that's really helpful here for Infamous. As is the additional kill. Unfortunately, the switch time to this easy undoes Whiskey just a little bit. Mara also goes down there to attack. That's another round for Primordial, but they're not dealing very well with these force buys at all. They're losing so many players.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a rough one, especially as soon as Infamous does actually get around. Pretty certain Primordial will immediately have to be on the save as a result of that.
Yeah, very much so. Not able to build up any real money, and this is a weird buy out of Infamous. We got an AWP on Revy and an auto shotty, the Alligator on Mar.
What is it with auto shotters these days? So many players are using that damn thing. It's not like it's super effective either. Certain spots maybe, but in general, it's kind of just an okay gun.
Yeah, it's not nearly as effective as something like a Mag 7 for like a one-shot kill up close, but I guess the fire rate maybe makes up for it. But again, it's very, very situational, and I'd never really think that it's situational to the T side.
No, that's not a weapon that you should ever be using on the T side unless it's desperate measures. Generally, CT side, hold the close angles and then go from there.
Small boosts coming out here as well. Everybody's trying to boost around this B-bomb side at the moment. And Whiskey could maybe catch somebody off. Meanwhile, Lager Monster getting really aggressive, so that's some information for them. Some nades raining in, that sort of thing, but again, nobody dying just yet. But they are very, very committed towards this B-bomb site. Ozek about to receive some guests, and not guests that they necessarily want either. Neither will be that kill there coming in from R. He does get some work done. Sack with a double trade, though. That still brings it back towards the CTs here. 3v2 in the... I wouldn't even say it's post-plant. Rivy doesn't have armor either on the AWP, so he needs to get really lucky here. There's the flank coming in from Lager Monster. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to do too much, are the Ts. Bomb plant obviously helps their money, but at this point, with 6-1 just about on the scoreboard as the defuse comes in, that's definitely scant consolation, shall we say.
Yeah, very, very scant consolation, unfortunately.
You're still catching, what, sort of 1 second out of every 5 there?
It's just a constant lag. Like, I'll see something happen, and then it just lags, and freezes, and then nothing happens, so...
Oh no.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Sounds horrible.
That 8 meg internet.
I'm surprised that it's actually that fast. I thought it was slower than that, considering it's not working so well for you, but... Hey, talking about things that aren't working so well, the T side from Infamous so far. And as I say that, there's a nice early kill for Whiskey, and another kill for Revy as well, so maybe Infamous in with a chance in this particular round. Still the AWP alive on Felix, but he's going to have to do some big work, and with somebody like Cusco dead, you think it's going to be a little difficult here for Primordial to get back into the round, but hey, Infamous have shown themselves capable of losing some rather strange rounds. I don't think that's going to happen now, however. That will trigger the savior for Primordial, as the Infamous have got control of the bomb site. They've got everybody alive. And, well, not everybody. Felix there with the flick. That's Nix going down, and that'll probably be one of the last kills in the round. You'd think Primordial are going to try and scamper away with these weapons for Infamous. Not so sure it's necessarily the best thing to chase them down, considering that they don't really have that much money themselves. Mar's still going to try, though. More than try, in fact. He's going to succeed. And it's just left attack here. His position should get found out, especially now that he's fired a couple shots there. Bags himself a Mar, but he's probably about to hit the deck at the hands of the enemy here. And his enemy does find him in the end. Esnik there, standing in the fire. Doesn't matter. 14 HP. Who cares? He gets the kill. 6-2. Infamous back on the board.
Yeah, and the problem with that is Primordial's money is going to be absolutely shattered. We kept mentioning it earlier in that as soon as they lose a round with they're not being able to keep enough players alive, it is going to severely impact them.
Yeah, definitely going to be an issue. And kills happening, people dying, all sorts of things going on all over the place. And those things, well, they're favoring Infamous very heavily at the moment. 3v4 situation. Ozek, that horrible time when you drop the smoke into some fire and it doesn't take immediately, you think you're gonna die. He's probably gonna die anyway though. Yeah, everybody going down. Ozek's position has been found out. He's managed to find himself an AK, but will he be able to get away with it? I don't know so much. Still somehow 2 players going down there to the hands of Ozek, which is kind of weird, in a 4v1, that they'd allow that much damage going towards a low HP player.
Yeah, and I mean it's the same thing that we were mentioning earlier. Is that like so long as you're doing damage in these rounds, you already have enough rounds on your side to be okay with things. So if you can just keep chipping away at the T's, as soon as they lose a round, they're going to be on the save, and that's going to give you at least 2 rounds. So well played there by Ozek getting the 2 additional kills with that CZ, and Infamous going to need to be a little bit careful that they don't give away too many rounds like that or too many players like that.
Yeah, it's definitely not helping their cause from an economic point of view. Still going interesting here with 2 Mac 10s. I guess they expect it to be a pretty low buy for Primordial, and they'll be right. But there is an AK there to potentially sting them. Also 3 CZs. No armor around it though, but still, earlier Primordial managed to win a round with a very similar buy, so they need to be careful. Doesn't seem like they're going to be careful. They're just going straight into this bomb site. There's a trade coming in though. The trade will help a little bit, but on the angle, Ozek, oh, he sprays him down there through the wall very nicely as well. And now in a 3v3, and presumably going to boost somebody over the sandbags here maybe to take the fight. So still these T's not out of the woods yet at all, and low HP on Nyx as well could be a factor, and it will be in fact. He goes down there to Ozek. Only rifle saved so far, gets 2 kills, and we are in a 3v2 here. Whiskey's getting some space there towards A as he rotates through the bank and the dumpster area towards A, so he's got some control, but on the retake, yeah, if CTs are quick enough, I think that they could potentially hurt these T's, especially with the Ice Neck on the Mac 10. Could be an issue.
Could definitely be an issue here. Infamous, they do slip sometimes, just clearing out bomb sites and all the rest before they get that bomb down. And Primordial, oh, the retake does now begin.
Are being delayed a little bit by that smoke though, and that could be a big factor here. And it looks like they are going to decide to bug out and just keep the free weapons. The smoke may have won the round there for Whiskey and Infamous. If that hadn't been down there, the rotation would for sure have come in, but with no kit, there's just no time to push that any further.
Yeah, it's a bit of a different smoke. It's not one that you'd expect to see cut out a retake, but since Primordial didn't actually have armor outside of Ozek, there's no point in taking an unnecessary risk. Give Infamous their 4th round. Maybe look for an exit frag or 2 if you can. Otherwise, I mean, you're saving tons of money into this round, and you can buy very, very healthily.
Yes, indeed, that's definitely helped them out. You can see the amount of utility they've got in their backs. That's going to set them up well. Yeah, 6-4 Primordial versus Infamous. Primordial still in the lead, but Infamous have done quite a bit of work to pull it back.
They have.
Felix, that's Whiskey who gets dropped there. Whiskey, often you'll see him with an AWP, but in this situation we've actually got Revy on T side, yeah, picking up the AWP instead of Whiskey. There's a trade at least. That helps them out somewhat. In fact, it helps them out quite a bit when the T's have got equal numbers, doesn't it?
Definitely does. These obviously can hit to bomb site with all of their players, whereas the CTs do sort of have to spread the resources, and that does obviously allow the T's in an even situation to actually make it uneven.
So taking it slow are Infamous. Primordial super far back here. This is all the way back there by Graffiti in B. That's sort of indicates that they're not really that keen on potentially losing players. The only problem with that is you don't necessarily set yourself up in the best possible way to fight the players coming into the side. It's all about the retake then. Attack on the angle though, that's a nice kill for him on Ma. His teammate has taken quite a bit of damage in that nade. If it had flown just a little bit further, would have taken him down. Bomb goes down, however, and it's retake time, and they've got players alive. So you can see their idea here to play for the retake, but it's of course quite risky if you get shut out early, and his next shutting out one player. We've got some trades flying in 2v2, in fact 2v1 now. Lager Monster up close. He's been up close a few times and won these, and he wins it again. Double kill for Lager Monster, and that will be the round to Primordial.
Fantastic play there by Lager Monster. Hits some very, very good shots to actually win it through. And grab himself that AWP as well. Helps out Primordial pretty spectacular. It is an expensive round, as we mentioned multiple times, but Infamous money hasn't looked great the last couple of rounds, so the bomb plants will help them, but they'll be very, very shaky if they do lose this round, and even in this round, utility is not going to be perfect.
Yeah, indeed. Prof, the admin's telling me that we will probably switch streaming feeds in between maps, so hopefully we can sort your issue out. We've had quite a few issues today. The game started 40 minutes late, maybe. And what that has meant is that Infamous start with a one-map deficit in this because they were late. So if Primordial win this map, the series is essentially over. Think of it as an Immortals situation without the death threat.
Yeah, and the heavy drink.
That too. Alleged.
Sorry, apologies. Alleged.
We just got to drop that in there, you know. Don't want to get sued.
Would we get sued though?
Prove it or I'll sue you.
Yeah, well, that's one of the words that people have used. Either way, Primordial at this point, just taking some spam shots through the walls, and Ozek gets wrecked.
Yeah, definitely not going to help the CTs out. There has been substantial damage dealt to these Ts though, and as I say that, well, more substantial damage dealt to Tak's head. It just gets caved in there. And Cusco, he's got so many players he had to deal with. Don't know if he can hold this on his own. He really shouldn't be able to. They know more or less where he is as well, and they are on his tail. Only one does he find. Felix there, though, with the reply. Still 2v3. And Felix, he caught a bit of damage there. Lager Monster catches a little bit more, however. Gets his head blown off in the bargain, and that will be Felix getting out of there. There's no reason to fight this with an AWP.
No, I mean, an AWP is a difficult enough weapon to use at the best of times. Having to look for 3 players in a bomb site as tight and controlled as the B bomb site on Overpass, that's a nightmare incarnate.
Definitely don't want to do this, and they could be walking right past each other here, which makes for some good comedy in a cartoon, but don't know if Felix is going to be laughing. Surely he's heard this player. Drops him with a shot to the kidneys, but that could have gotten maybe a little bit more dicey than he would have wanted. 7-5 here, Primordial still in the lead, and this is of course a map that should be fairly heavily CT favored. 5 already for Infamous is quite good going. Yeah,
it is very good going. Primordial as well probably won't be able to do much with this round, so Infamous could very well get themselves to 6 and held. Who knows? Extremes, maybe even 7. Can you believe it?
Well, not with the start they had. It was 6-1 at one point, so Infamous have come back into this rather well.
I mean, FaZe was 11-0 up on the weekend.
That's true.
How did that work out for them?
Well, something's working out here for the CTs. They managed to get themselves a bunch of kills. It's a 2v2 after losing 2 early players. And on the angle, what? P250 in Sack's hands. He gets the double kill and has an extended range battle with an AWPer and wins. Makes no sense.
No, this is the alternate reality. What is it? Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Well, there's yet another mystery to be revealed. The CTs are wondering exactly where this player in Revi is. And he's coming from behind. He's managed to get all the way through, and Tack might be able to get this, and he does. Oh, I thought he fluffed it for a second. The first kill came for Revi. Tack just getting super lucky there that he decided to back off and happens to back right up to where that player is. Revi only gets the 1. And on what was a save there, and he had an AWP. There's around for Primordial.
I mean, at this point, you really have to question how Infamous screwed that one up.
With great difficulty, but they managed to do it. I'm impressed the tenacity that they showed there to be able to do that.
I mean, it took a fair amount of misplays.
2 fire kills coming, 3 fire kills. Could you guys stop running through the fire here? Zach gets a triple without firing a shot. And there's Cusco jumping in with a kill as well. Revy the only one with a rifle, everybody else on pistols. He's the last man left alive, and he's going to have to get 4 kills here.
That seems rather extreme. I mean, he is an extreme player, but I just can't see that happening.
Yeah, neither can I. It just doesn't seem like... It doesn't seem real, does it? There's no way that he should be able to do this. And you can see with how passive he's being, he doesn't really want to fight them.
Nah, I mean, he's doing his best job of just hunkering down, hiding in a corner, crying himself to sleep, wondering about his past glories.
Jeez, I want to cry
dreaming.
myself to sleep at this point, man. 40 minutes delay.
They got punished, okay? just let it go.
Don't want to.
Just let it go.
Don't we have to wait in the round while Primordial aren't hunting him and while he's trying to save the gun? Wish there was like a fast forward or something for situations like these, but no, there's not. Valve, please fix.
Would you really want to play on fast forward though?
It could be pretty fun with a negative.
No. That would not be fun.
So
that would definitely not be fun.
You'd be moving slow enough that, you know, even while fast forwarding it would be controllable. I don't feel like running with an AK in like a fast forward mode would be. But hey, we are talking nonsense, of course. We're just waiting for that round to end. He spent, what, 1 minute and 30 seconds there saving a gun. Not a lot to talk about in that time. Still infamous with a great comeback, yeah, but Primordial in the last few rounds, they've managed to pull it out again, and that's a pretty good half win for them. And considering that what Infamous have here, they shouldn't be able to do this. Surely not a 6th year.
No. I mean, it shouldn't be possible, especially with the nerfed CZs. They do still have 2 Deagles. Can they use them effectively? Obviously, we've seen a lot of the pros these days with the Deagle CZ mix-up, with CZs getting up close and the Deagles fighting at range. And Yarok is actually the one pushing aggressively with that Deagle in hand. So, all kinds of crazy ideas.
Crazy alternative theories on how to play Counter-Strike, and that one didn't work out, unfortunately. Felix, the only one feeling any wrath on the side of Primordial, he's dropped a 49 on the AWP, but that's not going to matter with the weapon that he's got. For Infamous, however, they're not finding too much, and a lot of that's down to just how passive Primordial have tended to be, not giving them opportunities.
I mean, I suppose it is, I wouldn't say the correct way to play, but certainly a pretty solid way to play. Maybe not on this map. I do think that Overpass does allow for a lot of CT aggression. Felix gets wrecked.
Yeah, there's some wreckage happening right now. 2v1 all of a sudden. Position was known, but they'd expect him to maybe move, and he's stuck around here, so maybe he can catch somebody off, but popping a shot off like that, that's not going to help his case for trying to remain anonymous. There's an AK available for him as well. Surely he's been spotted, though, by those CTs. He's also managed to recover the bomb. With 20 seconds, he seems to be trying to rotate towards B, and that, I think he might have just enough time, but he's going to need to get lucky, not get caught on any architecture or anything like that, and should be able to get the bomb down here with about 6 seconds to go. And there we go, the bomb plant. So Primordial doing the right thing with those 2 players sticking together. You never really want to separate in those sorts of situations. It's given up the bomb plant, but it doesn't matter considering the round that it is. And it's time to clutch here for more. He's hearing all the audio cues. They're stampeding down on him, yeah. Will he be able to win this? He needs this for his team. And the molly, oh, that could have worked out. They absolutely lined up for him there. But nice headshot coming in from Orzek. He looks after his teammate, keeps him alive, and keeps their chances in the round alive. 10-5 half for Primordial.
Yeah, and Primordial, I mean, it got shaky there at a point. They were, what, 6-4? Brought back to 10-5, so well played there by the Greek team. Infamous, though, will be a little bit upset that they gave it away at the death. Really did have a very good chance to actually pull it into a reasonable half for them. It could have had, I mean, we were joking about it, but, I mean, 8-7 wouldn't have been out of bounds. They just ended up losing to an eco.
Yeah, indeed. Catching a bit of the old robot voice, unfortunately. But in the meantime, got Primordial on the T side, yeah. And that was an interesting bit of play from Sak. He bought a molly and a flash and threw them away in the first 10 seconds of the round. To do what exactly, I'm not sure. Trying to maybe keep them towards the B side, but now that there hasn't been any movement, surely the rotation will come in. And we do see some rotation towards A there. They've got 2 players ready now and another player in heaven to potentially rotate over. So not the most effective effects from Primordial to just throw a couple of nades and hope it would keep those players there. They needed to push A off the back of it almost immediately, and instead they're being super passive.
Like for like. CT side seems to be the same as what they're trying on their T side.
They're trying to make the game take as long as it could possibly take. Is that their plan, do you think?
No, I think they're trying to win the game. Maybe just by frustrating Infamous.
Jesus, I'm getting frustrated. Do something. Primordial, do something. There's a shot fired, finally. Maybe dead yet, but surely Zach is going to draw the ire of these players and maybe get himself a kill. In fact, he does. Whiskey with the trade as well. That is the misdirection as that bomb site tech comes in here towards A, and they're getting mowed down. Esnik gets 2 there. Felix, he's going to have to do some big work here. A team kill's going to help them out, maybe. And Lager Monster, he's under a ton of pressure as his teammate gets the bomb down. He will go down, in fact. Felix, though, in a very winnable 1v2 here. He's just got to dance around, make sure that he takes these fights, and he does get the 1 player. He's in a 1v1 now. This is so winnable for Felix, and he does win it, in fact. Fantastic work there from the Primordial player. It looked like everything had gone awry, but he pulls it back in the 3v1.
Yeah, fabulous play there by the Primordial AWP, really having to do quite a bit of work. 3 kills on the round, and really pulled his team out of the fire there. Not the best situation. Infamous got quite a few kills on the entry there, and Primordial, thankfully, headshots helped them out there because positioning was not great there.
Not at all. Also not great for Ma to be catching that nade. Does his best there to header it back to them, but unfortunately the timed fuse does not help him out.
Oh. In the schnoz.
Yes, indeed. Infamous, they're on the force buy here. Think they can do much with these deagles?
I mean, if they take the right fights, they certainly could. I don't know if it's necessarily the best idea.
Only CZ they really had there on Revi went down pretty early there to the Galil, so don't really have a ton of capability for up close fights outside of the UMP that they have. They're going to need to pick these players off from range, and I just don't know if that's necessarily realistic. Primordial with a 3 Galil buy, which is a good way to play a map like this. Again, long distances, so it does help you out.
I mean, long distances, but does anybody actually know the Galil spray?
Very, very few outside of Get Right, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's the problem, is that, like, you know, Galils are great, but, like, people don't really use it enough for it to be, like, a mainline weapon, so they do tend to be a lot less efficient with the weapon than something like an AK or an M4.
Indeed. Cytec coming in, yeah, Ma will be rotating over with his teammates, but they've got complete control of the Primordial. That'll be a clean bomb plant for them, and almost exit frag time here unless they can find a bunch of early kills here for Infamous.
I mean, I can't really see them doing much of anything. This is probably one of the more difficult sites with the Deagle. A lot of close angles, don't really have much utility to get themselves into sight as well. So, I mean, they're going to spam, but outside of that, I can't really see anything happening.
Yeah, the bomb's also ticked away quite far, so not in much of a position to do much. Maybe just trying to find kills here, because they've all moved forward. It's not really a winnable situation anymore as those kills fly in. Probably should have gotten out of there, but hey, they're going to keep 2 alive. Oh, no, they're not. How did Ma die that far out from the bomb?
He was on 2 HP.
Oh, I really didn't know that it would get you all the way over there, so that's kind of unfortunate, but hey. Guess it's not going to affect them too much. And the problem for Infamous against Primordial here is Primordial's got such a lead. They can't really afford to give up too many rounds. It's going to be the save, and then we'll see the buy, but will it be a little bit too late in the game, do you think?
Probably. 13-5 is a really, really rough score to fight back against, especially with Primordial fairly well stocked in terms of the money. They've also looked pretty good on the rifles when they've had them. Infamous, a little bit less so. And obviously the CT side is much more expensive, so Primordial is rounds to burn.
I don't see Infamous doing too much in this particular round, considering they're on those USPs. Thought for a moment Nick said a P250, but he's pulled the silencer off because he doesn't feel like being quiet. Orzek will silence him though for the rest of the round there with a headshot, thanks to that Mac 10. Gets himself some money as well.
I have actually heard and read and been told by the admins that if Primordial wins this game, they are actually into the playoffs over Nexus.
Really? And
Yes.
why is that?
Because they beat Nexus 2-0 both times.
Oh yes, okay.
So round difference does not count. Knoxville will be happy.
Oh, so it's about the head-to-head rather than the round
Yes.
difference. Okay, well that is
Yes.
interesting. So Nexus could essentially be playing a dead rubber next.
Yeah, I do wonder how that would affect the morale going into that game.
Yeah, that is actually a little concerning for them. Actually, let me just look at the rankings yet again. As we see the buy coming in here, 13-5 Primordial over Infamous. Infamous with the backs against the wall, and the wall isn't particularly warm or welcoming. It's kind of sharp and uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a rough one for Infamous.
Actually, I do think there's still something to play for Nexus, because Nexus are on 6 points, Primordial only on 3, Toxic are already on 12, so if Primordial win this, they'll be equal with Nexus, and Nexus would have to then beat Toxic to advance.
Yeah, sorry, let me just read this quickly. If Nexus wins today, they are in playoffs. Even if Primordial wins 2-0 today and tomorrow. If Primordial gets 2 wins, they are over Nexus since they beat Nexus twice. Okay, so tomorrow's game is the next game between Nexus and Primordial. So if Primordial wins today and then beats Nexus tomorrow, they're in.
Ah, okay, so we've got that down now. So there are some stakes here, of course. Not in this
Yes.
particular game, but there are stakes nonetheless. And talking about stakes, I'm pretty hungry. I don't know about you.
I'm pretty ravenous, I'm not going to lie. Steak would go down pretty well right now. Whiskey, he's going to go down like a sack of potatoes soon if he continues that nonsense.
Steak and whiskey. Let's do that. Let's do that now.
No thanks. I'm not a whiskey man.
Meanwhile, there's a kill for Infamous. Esnek gets his team at the first opening in the particular round. Felix is also pretty low here, so going to be relying on his teammates to do some crazy things. And Zach, talking about crazy things, he just rips the head off Whiskey there. We've got some replies in the form of Mar doing some work there. And in fact, he'll do some great work. Double kill for him. His teammate also jumps in. There is a bomb plant for Zach, but that's all that he's going to find in this particular round. And Infamous, while it's really late, is it too little too late? I don't know. But they're keeping their hopes alive in this particular map.
Yeah, good to see that they also keep 4 players alive. So money will be pretty solid there. Primordial, on the other hand, will be just a bit upset they didn't get more done. But of course, that was the bonus round. I mean, you'd hardly expect 3 Galils and 2 SMGs to be of any great use to anyone.
No, definitely not. They're probably better off without them, but still, if you can win around with those things, then you can really dent the economy of the opposition.
Oh, that would be brutal, because Infamous, they would then have to either force up or take an eco. And in either of those situations, you could just keep the Galils and SMGs into the next round again. So, I mean, your money would be... I mean, you'd basically be Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, and you'd be close to victory at that point as well. We've got the full buy versus the full buy. Felix has also got himself an AWP now again, so he's been fairly effective with it on the CT side, I'd say. Don't know quite how effective he might be with it on T, but he's a pretty handy AWPer.
I think handy is a bit of an understatement. He's been pretty damn solid, to say the least.
I thought I said the least.
Did you say the least?
You said more.
But this is a lie.
Boost over here for the T side. Lager Monster lifting his teammate upon his shoulders. Zach has been really good at these entry kills. Maybe on that angle he could find somebody. Still Primordial, they continue to persist with a really passive playstyle until late in the round, and it's, you know, you'd often say it's sort of Navi-esque, but I don't know if it's really the case here. They're just taking their time.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Navi is that they tend to take a little bit more map control than Primordial, especially classic Navi. Primordial is doing something, so it's not like they just sort of hang around in an area before making a run towards the opposing team's bomb site. But it's a very slow play style. I don't mind it too much. It actually looks like they have a solid plan. Take over this area of the map, next area. It's paint by numbers, but you can still make a pretty painting with that.
Oh, and there's some blood being painted on the wall there. Orzek's blood, to be exact. Oh, the no-scope gets missed there by Felix, and that could be the round unraveling, and in fact it will unravel off the back of that. Cusco, he's the last man left alive here. And I think he's going to just want to hang on to what he's got. With the time that he's got left, he can't afford to go down after time and end up with no money.
No, he cannot. So, Primordial lose another round. They should still have a decent amount of money going into this one, but I think after this they'll probably be on the save. So, either way, I mean, Primordial, they need to start playing a little bit, I wouldn't say aggressively, but maybe just throw one of those rounds in there just to keep Infamous on their toes. Because if Infamous knows that you're just going to be playing passive all day long, they can take chances, or they can just hunker down in the bomb site, save their own utility. It's not actually a very easy type of playstyle to play against, but once you read it, you can be really at a massive disadvantage.
Orzek, there's a nice easy kill for him there, and that will be a gun upgrade for him as well. He only had the Mac 10. I don't know why he was allowed so much space there in lowers. Mara's under a little bit of pressure here, and depending on the timing, you could get caught off. He's got to get out of there and get out of there quickly, and that looks like exactly what he'll be doing. And with the CTs now with a player down, I was going to say they need to hit back and they need to do it quickly, and they do, in fact. Revi there with the AWP reply. It's going to bring it back into the 4v4.
Yeah, well played there by him. It's Dagger Monster. Would have wanted to do a little bit more than that. Primordial, though, still, as we said, favored. They get out ahead, and that's a couple of trades coming through.
Jeez, Orzek getting a nice kill there. Maybe throwing away a life there as that one player jumped over. I think it was it Cusco? Oof! That was just a bit too much sight control there, relinquished because of that smoke. Orzek needed to be there with his teammate to help him out, and he got caught as the plant happened. Orzek, though, that is some surgical shooting. He gets himself a triple kill. And maybe he allowed his teammate to go down, but he sure did a lot there to clean that up. 14-7. Primordial now just 2 rounds away from winning this match.
Yeah, that was fantastic play there by Orzek in the retake. As he gets those 2 very, very crisp kills. Some utility still available for Infamous here. They do have quite a bit of money and triple orbs. Okay.
Triple orbs while somebody else is on a CZ. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't, Extremes. Does not make any sense at all, but Infamous clearly has a plan. Trust in Infamous.
They're definitely eroding my trust with that one. That seems like a very strange decision to make. But it might yet catch the morph. Quite a bit of information here for Whiskey, and a kill in fact as well. He's the player with the glass cannon AWP of the 3. The other 2 have got armor. And he decides to do the most bold thing possible and push all the way up there. So, nice work from him. It's going to be on Primordial to turn this around. Again, it's round 22. It's 14-7. They've got double the score of Infamous. But I just can't help but worry that, again, with how passive they are, it does often seem to come down to clutches for them. And when they're not winning those, they seem to struggle a bit.
Yeah, it does really seem to be... like I said, I don't think it's...
That boost? Attack there. That was a rather strange boost. He got a kill. Cusco should get another. In fact, he doesn't. Mar will drop him. Still 3v3, but... I like that little boost that came out there. And the man who was boosted is now dead. So attack is down, and it's a 2v3 with 25 seconds here. I just don't know if Primordial have got enough time. It's going to be on Orzek here to find something. They're going to have to hit the jet shoes and turn on the afterburners here because they are running out of time very fast. 12 seconds left here, and they're not on the bomb site just yet. They can't afford anything to go wrong. Mar is the man up close to deal with them, and Orzek needs to deal with him in kind, and he's not going to be able to. That's going to be the round. Mar with the triple kill to round it out for Infamous, and they're still keeping this game going.
I mean, starting with a CZ, that's not too shabby at all from Mar. as Infamous make the shaky buy works. I mean, they do lose their 2 additional AWPers, so money is still in the bin for the CT side, but they can maybe get something out there.
So just to remind you guys, if you weren't here earlier in this ESL Southeast Europe Championship Season 7 encounter, oh, we're talking about things are happening meanwhile. There's a nade kill that happens, and also some death being rained from above there with that UMP. Things were dicey, but they have been turned around somewhat, yeah? 2v3 and low HP on Cusco. But yeah, there is a map advantage towards Primordial because of Infamous being 40 minutes late for this game, so if they win this map, then they win the series. Infamous has to take it to the next map to keep the series alive, basically.
Yeah. I mean, punishment for lackadaisical behavior, I think, is in order.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. There's the boost for Whiskey, so he's in a pretty good position here to spot out some players. Could also get caught here if he gets pre-fired, but it's not a very common pre-fire spot, so... Oh, and as I say, that Lagger has seen him, and he executes him. Very nice work there. Trying to catch them off. He doesn't get the kill, however, and that has now given up the game quite substantially. I'm surprised they're planting still on A when they could have maybe even rotated all the way to B. Post-plant now. Nyx does need to win this, and there is low HP on Cusco, so for Primordial, they've got to play this correctly. They've got to make sure that they don't overplay their hand here.
Yeah. Play together. Yeah, it's a 2 versus 1. There's no need to try something heroic.
Something heroic being attempted here by Nyx, but unfortunately not going to work out for him at all. Cusco puts him to bed rather neatly, and that may have put this game to bed, in fact, 15-8. With the 1 map advantage going into this one for Primordial, that would be the 2-0 series win for them. So, a lot of work for Infamous to do on a force buy, and it's not looking good.
No, it's not. Primordial obviously won the force buy on the CT side. I don't know if Infamous is going to do it. They did look pretty solid, especially in the hands of Mara with that CZ on the last round, doing, I mean, everything to show that the CZ, despite being nerfed, still ridiculously powerful.
Yeah, it is really powerful. It's just not capable of the one shot to the head kills anymore. They've removed that possibility, but still got all the other attributes that make it such a good weapon.
So what's your feeling, Extremes, on the M4A1S?
It's not that useful, unfortunately. The lower fire rate just means that it suffers a little bit. You know, I used to still like to use it anyway because I was crazy. Still crazy, but not that crazy anymore. Meanwhile, Boost there might have been a little crazy coming out of Infamous. They got spotted, but nobody did, so no harm, no foul. But that is a ton of information there for Primordial. Maybe they might choose to push the A site now since they saw a bunch of players clumped up towards B.
Yeah, that would definitely be a logical decision, as Infamous not really in the best position to rotate. They have 1 person in the water. It's going to be a long rotate if he does go there, as well as the B side players are fairly deep in.
Oh, kills coming in here. The CZ's doing big damage there, and it is an advantageous position here. I was going to say for the CZs, but Felix has got his own CZ, and he gets the double kill. Orzek with a kill as well. And that is the 16-8, the series win to Primordial. Well played to them. Tak has played a fantastic game for that 29 kills and 17 deaths. And overall, a pretty exciting matchup in the end, although it started really slow.
Started very slow, started very late. Either way, Primordial are going to be banking those 3 points and will be very, very happy to accept the generosity of the Infamous boys.
Gee, that is so nice of them. What's also nice of us is we're going to go to an ad break, give you some time to get yourself some drinks, and we'll see you for the next matchup. But it's going to be Toxic versus Nexus.
I will fly. Up here, we're free, bound only by frozen memories, lost in time, racing all these broken dreams tonight, and we'll fly.
The clean feed just died there. I don't know why it died. I'm sorry. Do apologize for the death of the clean feed. Hopefully we can get that back up and working again. It took me by surprise. Prof, are you there, man?
Yep.
You are. Should I get you on camera?
Try.
We can try. We can try. Sorry, we've had a few technical issues tonight, so hopefully it's not something that's insurmountable. Oh, there we go. We got you. We got you on camera as well. So we've got a big game coming up. It's Toxic versus Nexus, and that one's going to be exciting primarily because Toxic can either knock Nexus out or they can keep them alive.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. So, I mean, both teams basically playing with... What is it? They have something on the line. Obviously, I think Toxic have already qualified, so they don't really have as much going for them tonight, but certainly would like to just make certain that they do qualify with some ease.
Indeed, let's hope that that it's not going to be a really difficult one. We should be starting in any minute now. I just need to see if maybe we'll get clean feedback. No, it doesn't look like it. We're also going to hear my microwave going off because I was just busy heating up some something warm to drink, and as it turns out, you know, the clean feed died, so I had to run quickly and hopefully stop it before anything went too wrong. So in the previous game, we saw Primordial versus Infamous, and Primordial won it pretty easily. It was a 2-0, even though we only saw one map because Infamous were so late for the first map that they were penalized in the series, which I've never seen before, aside from the immortal scenario at DreamHack Montreal.
Yeah, the infamous missed final.
Yeah, that one. Easy final
Yeah,
wins.
I think overall Primordial played pretty well. I mean, I wouldn't say that they necessarily would have won the first series or the first map, but at the very least, the second map was fairly convincing, I'd say. Didn't really look as though Infamous had much of a chance in that game.
Yeah, it really didn't. There was just a couple of rounds where it looked maybe somewhat exciting, but generally speaking, it wasn't. It wasn't even that exciting a game. It was just super passive from both teams. So, you know, it seemed like Primordial were just trying not to take any real risks. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, Primordial, they played a very slow style, but I don't think it was entirely, like you said, passive. I think defensive is probably a slightly better word in the way that they played, especially on the T side. They were like, they tended to creep across the map trying to take control. So I don't have that much of a problem with the way they played. I do think that they sometimes took a little bit too long, which is obviously, you know, a little bit of panic. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it did seem to work out pretty handily.
Yeah, it seemed to go pretty well for them, and that's very good for their season as well. Overall, they really are in with a chance of making it to the playoffs now, where you wouldn't have said a week ago that Primordial had even a shot of it.
No, I mean not even close. So Primordial doing very, very, very well tonight to obviously take that through. If they win tomorrow, they're guaranteed through. So there's a lot to play for. Obviously, as we mentioned, that Nexus have to win tonight to keep their dreams alive. So if they can do that, then whoever plays tomorrow. I made the joke that it's the Thunderdome tomorrow. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. So yeah, whoever wins tomorrow, if the teams win tonight, goes through.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We'll have to see how it shapes out. Still no word on the feed. Which
looks like the streaming PC from the admins has
broken.
knocked.
Okay. Well, I think what we'll probably do is from my side, I'll put on a little bit of music and see if I can maybe put on a pretty picture or two. I don't know. See if we just keep something going while we wait for the game to start. Because we don't want to wear our voices out before we actually have to shout. You know.
It's probably the best.
That's my read on it anyway. So let's just see. I'm going to have to do some fancy work in OBS now to make this happen because, of course, we take all our production from actually from ESL directly rather than on ourselves. So it makes it quite interesting in the sense that I don't have any scenes set up for anything because I don't actually handle production.
Clearly, Extreme's letting the team down.
Very much so. It's terrible. I don't know how I've been allowed to get away with this for so long. But, you know, there it is. Let's just see.
Clearly.
Can I actually create new scenes while we're busy broadcasting? Probably not. I imagine.
It is OBS, so it's prone to break at a moment's notice.
Well, everything's gone black, so therefore, it clearly is. Oh, there's something. It says OBS Studio. That's pretty terrible. Let's see if I can make it work. At least the audio is still working. So I do apologize that everything has gone dark. It's all dark now. There we go. We can deal with that. There's a picture.
But is it a pretty picture?
Not really. Not as pretty as I would have liked, but it is a picture nonetheless. So that'll at least serve as a background. So I'll put on a bit of music and we'll just wait for the feed to come back. So we do apologize, guys, for the day. We'll be back in just a few minutes. does appear as if we are back and we are ready to go and things are happening and production have fixed their issues and now people get to stab each other like we've always wanted to see.
Have we really though?
No, I don't care about knife runs.
Nobody
Definitely
cares
don't
about
care
knife
for
runs. Sadicus cared about knife runs for about 3 tries, and then it was just like, that's it.
It's really hard to cast the knife rounds. But hey, we do thank you guys for joining us. We do apologize for some of the issues there. The production PC at ESL and in Europe died. Of course, we're not in Europe, but we're kind of at their mercy. So hopefully we have no more issues going forward. Had to jury rig something to make it work just so there was something on the stream. And now talking about something on the stream, I think we're about to see some headshots. And there's Zello. He's so good at those sorts of ranges. He gets himself some headshots. Nexus versus Toxic ESL Southeast Europe Championship Season 7. And everything is dying right now at the hands of these Nexus players. They're being super aggressive here, pushing up towards mid. They know exactly where these players are, and they're going to be dropping them to the floor. Raftu now, probably the best player for Toxic. He's left alive in a 1v4. Not for long.
Yeah, it's not. No, definitely not for long. I mean, it's good to see that Nexus has actually been on a tear of late, destroying the boys of Infamous the last 2 times they played. So, yeah, Nexus will be pretty happy with how things have gone recently. And they'll certainly be looking to win tonight to make certain of that potential spot in tomorrow's decider match.
Yeah, that is quite the matchup that we've got coming your way tomorrow. So definitely stick around for that. Definitely don't stay on the channel that entire time. Go watch something else, maybe sleep, but do come back for that tomorrow.
Sleep is for the weak.
You told me I should get some sleep the other day when I'd not been sleeping for a whole week very well at all.
Well, then clearly you're weak, aren't you?
Wow, shots being fired, much like we've seen on the server so far tonight. Thankfully, it seems like the issues are behind us, and off we go. BTN on the angle, Raftu out of the equation. Jeez, he's being rather dangerous standing out in the open. There's BTN, and he's taken quite a beating himself.
Well, that he has. He's not looking too healthy, but at the end of it, Nexus should be well towards victory at the end of this.
A little bit of damage being dealt, but not too much. Only the single kill, and you'd think unless Steffa gets super lucky, he shouldn't be able to find so much more. What's interesting about watching Nexus this season is they've clearly had the best individual players of any of the teams in the championship, and yet they've struggled for wins because they've not always taken it entirely seriously, it seems.
Well, I mean, not taking it seriously or just trolling. I don't know if they're the same thing. Either way, yeah, Nexus has looked very shaky at times when, by all rights, they should have been looking a lot better, should have cleaned out their games or cleaned up their games a lot earlier as well.
Yeah, well, as I said, they have looked very strong. It's just been puzzling sometimes how they've conspired not to win some of the games that were looking strong. And yeah, they're just going to be running out of the apps here in Palace, hoping to get something down, maybe a bomb plant down, but all that's hitting the floor is their own bodies. Nothing at all for them there. The quad kill for BTN. That's got to feel good for him, for his economy as well. Gets himself a nice 2,400 for the bank.
Yeah, nice and easy. Cemente steals one of his kills. Potential for the anti-eco ace. Obviously, that's the most important ace that you can get.
Very, very, very handy to get the quad kill on the eco. Almost as handy as you're going to have to be to Penguin.
Yes, almost as.
Indeed, Zello there with a very nice shot. The full buy here for Toxic, not yielding anything in terms of a kill early on, and surely Steph has seen him now, and hail of bullets flying down range, but the kill not coming in for Steffa. Unfortunately, he's going to go down to Jaxi. That's got to hurt.
Yeah, it's going to hurt quite a bit there.
Penguin, I told you I'd say it on the broadcast, and I did. Meanwhile, there's a kill coming in for Raftu. Sometime on the angle, he's hailing bullets in the general direction, but he's not going to get the kill. Oof, that is a dangerous peek to take. Raftu got to have known somebody's going to be around there, but he goes for it anyway.
Oof, yeah. Not really the best idea to try and challenge orbs like that.
Bomb is in control of the CTs, of course, and this just means that everything is quite disjointed here. 2 1v1s about to go down at the same time because of how separated all these players are. And, oof, the Deagle doing some big damage towards Raftu. Cemente's gotten the kill on the other side, and the running Deagle through the wall. Now that's something they've changed on this map. The wallbang possibilities for that broken wall are quite different to before. It was quite thin before, even a Glock could shoot through it, with enough bullets. Now it's really only the rifles, the Deagle, and the AWP that can get through it.
I mean, we did make the joke that it looks like they've just applied a high definition patch to the wall and done nothing else to the map, so...
Yeah, it does look a little out of place, I'm not going to lie. Sort of a texture from Nuke, that's been sandblasted or something like that.
Yeah, it does seem very, very out of place there. Either way, Duplicate will be trying not to be out of place when he goes up against Zello in mid here.
Not too much for Toxic they can find you unless they land some rather nifty headshots. Or we could say handy, if we're talking to Penguin.
I thought we were going to reach.
Risty? What? I don't know. Anyway, 5-0 yeah, and a very handy lead for Nexus. That helps you out quite well to start with the 5-0 on CT side. They're building up their economy nicely. For Toxic, they've barely been able to find anything here. I mean, you can see that on their kills. They've got a couple of players with no kills, and that's quite an issue, especially Steffa. He's one of their better players, for him to have none.
Yeah, that's a huge problem at the moment. Stefan really needs to get going. He and Raftu really are the powerhouses for this team. Blink is also pretty solid on the AWP, so certainly not a person to be sleeping on. Nexus, though, as you said, starting off very, very well. Not much kills, not many kills on the Toxic side, and that could come back to burn them.
Here's a nice opening, though, for Toxic. That's going to help them, and as I say that, Steffa still continues his duck, isn't able to get the kill on Jaxi. Nice aggression out of Jaxi there. Could have possibly unraveled for them. Sometime we'll not know just how many players he managed to stop with that flash. But now they've decided in they're going. And he decapitates the first one, looking for more. Sometime also known as IGM with the double kill. Jaxi on the long flank here. Does go down, but they know exactly where Blink is. And on 37 HP, surely he's not going to be able to do too much damage here.
Surely not, no. I mean, AWP as well, so can't really see him doing a whole lot of anything.
Might even be worth hanging on to it, but I don't really necessarily know if you want to try to do damage at this stage, because the economy of Nexus is so good. It's going to be really difficult to, even hurt them by taking a few guns away.
I mean, the problem is, like, this is one of those situations where it's like, okay, cool, you've got the money to save, or you've got the weapon to save. Ideally, you want to be doing more damage to the opponents, but at the same time, it's a very, very tricky situation, because if you lose your weapon, then you're almost going to have to full save in the next round.
They are feeding him at the moment. Well, he's decided to back out, but he couldn't have known BTN was also there lurking in apps. If he'd maybe pushed him, looked like BTN wanted to fight it.
Well, good old Nexus.
Yep, they do like to chase those kills, as we've seen. 6-0 for them, though. Starting really nicely. BTN with a great start there. 9 kills, 1 death. And again, we just got to point to the lack of kills on Toxic overall. They've struggled to get into the site. Whose map pick is this, actually? I don't remember. Let me check.
I can check for you quickly.
Okay, thank you. So we have seen Cemente doing some fantastic work for Nexus so far in the games of late. He's looked really strong on the rifle. Zello also great with the AWP as well.
It's Toxic's pick.
It's Toxic's pick. Wow, that is not the way you want to start it.
Definitely not. I mean, Nexus has grown into the season, as you said. Clearly one of the more skilled lineups that we have in the competition, and have been showing it in the last week or two. They've looked very, very potent when the fire has been lit under their proverbial backsides.
Raftu manages to get himself down, though. And down and out there. Oh, jeez, Blink. How did he do that? Barely blinks, and there's the headshot that comes in. Raftu duplicate, and Raftu yet again with kills. And it just leaves Zello all on his lonesome here in a 1v4. And they're going to have to offer themselves up to him if he's going to get out of this. And he will not. So there's a round for Toxic. And a lot of it off that first kill on Blink, getting aggressive with the, getting aggressive with the AWP, and he was peaked. He should have probably gone down, but somehow got the kill, and from there, they just accelerated onto that bomb side.
Yeah, very, very quick flick there by the Toxic AWP, and I mean, just absolutely brutal. Nexus doesn't actually have as much money as I expected. Sometime will actually be on that MP9. Rest of them, though, looking pretty locked and loaded in terms of weaponry.
Ready to go, and it's go time. Cemented with a kill, sometime also jumping in as well before the trade. And guys on the tees here in a little bit of trouble. If Zello gets this kill, that might seal the round, and I think that'll be it. BTN also jumping in with a very nice headshot. Steffa in the 1 versus 4. Any chance here, Prof? Does he have any chance? I know he's good.
No. 0% chance. I'm going full Moses. Full
0% chance. Okay. Oh, I was going to say that nade might catch him, and Jaxie manages to fluff it rather effectively, but it's not going to matter in the end. Bit of a fail nade, and somewhat of a fail round there for Toxic in general. They were chasing the round early on after losing those 2 kills. They just never recovered.
No, they did not. I mean, money's okay, considering how many people they kept alive in the last round, so... I mean, okay for a 4-spy, let's be real. I don't think we're going to be seeing... No. Do we see it? Economic stability?
No ways. Saves and things, who would have thought?
I mean, to be fair, Rafty did buy up.
Ooh, blink. Or blink and you miss it. There's the headshot for him before he gets traded out. Still very effective player with the Deagle. And they've still got a chance in this round. They've got armor on 3 players. They've got an AK as well. I think a lot of it would come down to whether sometime goes down or not, yeah.
Yeah, sometime is the linchpin on this round. He's going to have somebody else watching his back there for a second. But if he does go down, that's almost certainly the bomb site in the hands of Toxic.
Fiendish angle though, and that might be catching them off. He's done quite a bit of damage. And sometime also known as IGM, well, he wasn't around for all that much time after all. They've got the bomb site in control, and Zlatio here, well, he gets slapped down. Zello's dealt with him rather well, and they've got low HP. HP doesn't matter though when you're landing headshots, and there's 1 headshot for F2, not able to get the other though, and that leaves Steffa in a very difficult situation here. He's got a Deagle, he's got 41 HP, no armor to speak of either. He's going to have to get very, very lucky, and luck, unfortunately for him, is not on his side. That's another round for Nexus.
Yeah, that's a bit of a rough one there for Toxic, as they do go down 8-1 now. Had its smallest chances there, but desperately needed to hit those headshots. And the Romanian side continuing their fine form.
Romanians remaining on top. Try to say that.
Where are you going this holiday? I'm going to Romania.
Oh my word. That was a terrible, terrible joke. Not about the country, guys, it's about the pun. Just in case you were wondering.
It's like, so where to?
Yeah. Pretty much. 8-1. Nexus in such a good situation right now. Toxic, they're fully invested. Yeah, you've got Duplicate on the Mac 10 as well. Which I'm not so sure is a very effective buy. I'd rather see him on a CZ in this sort of situation.
Yeah, I think CZ would be doing a lot more damage than that Mac 10.
Maybe hoping for a lack of head armor, but they are committing to the side. In he goes, Stefan. Very nice first kill, very nice second kill, in fact. He just turns them and burns them. The headshots coming in. And BTN, he's going to be denied by the smoke as well. And denied by the headshot from Zlatio there. That's got to be it for Nexus. But knowing Nexus, they're still going to try.
Why not? I mean, have quite a bit of money to burn into the round. And they're known to be wildly aggressive. And superbly effective in these retakes at times. But they can also just throw the game away.
Still doing some nice work here to take some guns away. Duplicate, however, copying the efforts of his teammate, Steffa there with a nice headshot. Still very expensive round for the T's, and for Nexus also being denied quite a bunch of weapons as well. So maybe this is a round where it turns things a little bit. If you look at that Nexus money, it's not nearly as good as you would have thought.
No, it isn't. I mean, especially considering that they've won the last 2 rounds fairly cleanly. Nexus will not be too happy about that. 4 spies are probably the order of the day here, knowing Nexus. Actually get more rifles out than I would have expected. trading up for less utility.
Oh, double. Is it going to be a triple? No triple, but there's the support from Zello. They just jumped over into the waiting jaws of Cemente there.
Yeah, far too easy there. Just not really paying much attention, unfortunately. It was Toxic trying to be just a little bit too aggressive and paying for it dearly.
Yeah, I don't think that style of play will necessarily work against the aimers that Nexus have. Nexus can definitely do that to other teams. We've seen that quite a bit, where they'll just run into an area and kill everything. But maybe Toxic need to be just a little bit more considerate about their approach here, and they are in a bit of trouble now at 9-2.
Just a small amount of trouble. Yeah, they do they do need to start putting rounds on the board. It's all very well saying, oh, they've done damage to the Nexus economy. At some point, damage to the economy doesn't count anymore if you're 11-0 down, or even in this case 9-2. So, yeah, Toxic needs to start putting rounds up on the board. Otherwise, this is going to be very, very brutal in favor of Nexus.
Possibly very short as well. Force Spy so far not working out at all. Only the single kill in the hand to Blink, and as I say that, he gets a second one. In fact, Steffa could maybe find one here too. Very nice headshot. He's so good at it with his first bullet aim, but now his position has been revealed, and he's probably going to need to reposition himself a little bit just to elude the cover defense that's moving forward to try find him. Who's going to go towards it?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to fetch the bomb. So just trying to make certain that.
I think they call that a clothesline.
Yeah, a lariat.
So we'll get a pretty clean bomb plant here. Cemente, the rifler extraordinaire, he's going to be moving up through that cat area. Steffa's position might catch him off a little bit here as well. It's just going to depend on the timing, because if Steffa tries to cross, oh, he'll get spotted, and he does get spotted, in fact. And now he's being peppered with some damage as well. Triple kill on the cards here for Steffa if he can win this. Cemente, oh, he's seen him again. Making all the noise in the world, but he doesn't care. He's going to get that kill. And that is another round on the board there for Nexus. 10-2. That's crushing for Toxic.
Yeah, that's now getting a little bit unrelenting from the guys of Nexus. Toxic, though, they things are not looking good. It's getting a bit rough now. Now they're reaching that stage where it's starting to become desperate. They still don't really have money to buy. They should be saving here. At least according to most logic, they should be saving here. Pause.
Yeah, got the match pause coming in. Let's hope it's not a long one. Meanwhile, looks like we've lost the player, so it is a technical issue then. That's okay. While we're all here, of course, if you do want to enter the ESL giveaway, thanks to the sponsors Need for Seat, if you type !giveaway in chat, you can find out how to enter the Gleam giveaway, and that will enable you to win one of the 5 €100 vouchers that are on offer for the ESL store, where you can buy yourself something nice, like half a Need for Seat, half a Maxnomic. That makes sense to me, you know. Buy the bottom half, you can sit on it.
Yeah.
Will they sell you the bottom half though?
Well, I mean, if you walked in and you said I want half of a need, if I want half a Maxnomic, then they said, can you come get the rest next month? Wow. That would be pretty decent.
Is that called a lay-by, maybe?
No, lay-bys you kind of have to pay. You pay in like part, and then you get it at the end. Sort of like a reverse loan.
So we're sort of theorizing about something you definitely can't do in the ESL store, but if you get yourself a €100 voucher, you can buy something now. You maybe keep it, save up a bit more, buy yourself a chair. Either way, thanks to the sponsors Need for Seat for making that happen. And of course, if you're confused about where you are, despite all of the names on the stream and the branding and everything, this is ESL Southeast Europe Championship Season 7. We're on game day 11. It's been going for a while, and it's drawing to its conclusion. Not next weekend, but all of the playoff matches happening next weekend, and then the finals the following weekend.
Yeah, so Nexus obviously fighting for survival. If they lose tonight, they are officially out of the running. They have to win, and win well tonight against Toxic. That gives them the best opportunity going into the series against Primordial tomorrow. So that'll definitely be a fun one if Nexus can pick up the W tonight.
It's looking very likely at this stage. They're just smashing Toxic. Toxic have not given me much reason to believe that they're going to reverse things on this map so far, but What's also encouraging here for Nexus is that the CT side has been as strong as it has been, because if we go back to the beginning of the championship and the qualifiers, they seem to struggle sometimes on CT.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, Nexus don't make a lot of sense to me. They can look potent one round and then just abjectly bad the next.
Well, let's hope they continue the upward trend, because as we've been saying, the quality of the players that they have, they've got some great aimers, they've got some great players.
Yeah.
So as soon as they
Zello
find
especially is fun to watch.
Oh yeah, I like that. Through the smoke, knows the angle, watches the traces coming in, and geez, managed to catch 2 nades, and he's still alive, and he's still gonna peek. He just looks so aggressive, and he gets another kill. Zello, he is a highlights machine all on his own.
Well, just as I mentioned it, the man delivers.
Jeez, that's some express delivery. He works for FedEx or something. Steffa, he's under a lot of pressure here, and he's gonna get dropped. Duplicate if only he had the bomb, but he doesn't.
Yeah, so Nexus, at the end of all of that, not looking too shabby. As they do pick up an 11th round. Toxic now do finally get that second buy in. Second to last buy. Can they make anything happen here? I don't know. Do you, Extremes?
I don't think they can. It's just not looked encouraging. They've struggled on entry. The only rounds that they've won was because they got the first kill, and there's the first kill actually. So maybe something can change based on that. But surely, I thought he would see him through that. Somehow nobody dying there just yet. Lots of gunfire exchange though.
Yeah, tons of gunfire. Many bullets, not many of them hitting.
Whew, and there's the kills, and as I said, but they needed to get the first kill. They've very rarely gotten the entry. This round again, they get the entry, and they're in a good position. But I was going to say, if Zello's still alive, then maybe it's not guaranteed, but he managed to go down to Raftu, Steffa on the lurk as well, and there's the round. So all they needed was entries.
Like, those are so easy to pick up these days.
Yeah, they're rather difficult to deliver.
You make it sound like a pizza delivery.
Kind of did, yes. So at 11-3, last round was fast approaching. Now it has already arrived. Blink with the early kill yet again. BTN though with some help there from Cemente. They managed to get themselves some free weapons courtesy of that aggression, and I think that might just be the round winner unless Raftu's got something to say about it. 32 HP, and surely the dream is not real. In fact, it was all a mirage.
But
So what's your analysis of that half there, Prof? What can Toxic do here? I mean, is there any hope?
There is a slight bit of hope. Nexus has been known, as I said, to just get a little bit too loose, try to take too many single aim duels. If they keep it tight, I don't think Toxic has much of a chance, but knowing Nexus's proclivity for shenanigans, let's call it, I think Toxic can start building it up, and then it's really just about keeping the money rolling. Just never allow Nexus to do too much damage to your economy, that if you do on occasion lose a round, that you're in dire straits. So, I mean, obviously pistol rounds, goes without saying they have to win this. If they don't, Nexus is well favored to win the entire map.
Duplicate with the opening there on Zello. Zello often plays the lurk in pistol rounds for Nexus, so that may potentially lull them into a false sense of security. They wouldn't have been expecting the A-take, because Zello's always going to be on the opposite side of the map, and that catches them completely off guard. The bomb goes down now, and retake attempt coming in. Stefan needs to land something. All he's going to land is flat on his back, unfortunately, as he gets dropped. And talking about drop, Blink as well. Zlatio, he's just got to get out of there. 11 HP, it's not going to work for him. I don't know why he went back, actually. He probably should have kept that armor.
Yeah, he probably should have. But maybe just deciding there's not much to this map left, and you will go down. Yeah, so 13-3. Nexus have basically decided this game. I was thinking about something a lot dirtier to say there, but then I decided that ESL wouldn't be too happy with me, so they probably wouldn't allow me to cast again. So decided I had to go with the safe method.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. Triple AKs, yeah, for Nexus, and that is going to work for them rather nicely. Steffa He falls off the van, probably breaks his back, but he was dead already, so who cares?
Yeah, that's a bit brutal.
Probably describes the game overall a bit brutal. Raftu going to do his best to do something brutal in return and only gets the 1 kill. 2 players left alive here for Toxic as the bomb has gone down. Not really anything going to happen in execution style. He's with the Gestapo. Shot him in the back of the head.
Sure. Some heavy words there. Either way, Toxic will be doing what they can to just, I suppose, make it look a little bit better at this point. I don't see any reasonable way that they could be winning at all.
No, it just doesn't seem likely, possible, or... I was gonna, yeah, again, gonna say something and, you know, can't. So it's not my channel.
Is it... Yeah.
14-3?
Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No.
No, it's not probable. I feel bad for Toxic, though. They are sitting on the top of the log by quite some way. If they were to lose this, that's going to hurt their confidence going into the playoffs quite a bit, I would imagine.
I mean, they're guaranteed in the playoffs, so maybe it's just like, oh, guys, let's just get it done. We don't really need to win tonight. And, you know, maybe not taking it too serious.
Maybe, but the other side of it is, do you want to go in sort of undercooked in bad form because you didn't do well in your previous map, or do you want to go into the playoffs, you know, having put on a good show and feeling confident in your abilities as a team? Because right now, if you lose the 16-3, even if you're taking it easy, that doesn't feel good.
I mean, the gap between the loss here and the playoffs, I think, is large enough that you're probably not going to matter too much.
So 2 opposing viewpoints. Only one will win. Think we should have a 1v1 IRL. What do you think?
I will win, because I'm not going to be playing fair.
Oh, yes. Bringing a knuckle duster?
Yeah. No, it's the broken bottle.
Wow, okay. Well, you have let me know in advance, so I'll be sure to bring a firearm of some kind.
That's how it works.
Just waiting for things
There's
to get going.
no point fighting fair in a straight knuckle fight. It's not going to happen.
Yep, and that's also the golden rule for CSGO. Never engage in a fair fight if you don't have to.
Of course not.
Shoot somebody in the back
Why
of
would
the
you
head.
ever fight fair? Why would you give the other person a 50-50 chance of killing you? That just doesn't seem reasonable.
Or you could just be simple and take every duel and just win all of them.
Simple breaks the rules of CSGO, though. That's... Simple's like, just not fair.
Yeah, he is a cheat code all into his own. Your mic is starting to freak out a little bit, but it hasn't gone bad yet. Maybe you want to just try reset it quick to make sure. Thankfully, Prof is getting himself a nice new sound card and mic pretty soon, so hopefully we won't have these issues going into next week. Just to bring out the map veto for you guys, the first pick was Toxic's pick, Mirage, and they're probably not feeling so good about picking it after all. We go to Train next, and that is one of Nexus's particularly good maps, so I'd be pretty worried that this is going to be done in 2. If we do by some miracle get to the 3rd map, it's Cash, and again, I'd still say that favors Nexus just based on the quality of aimers they have and how skill-based that map is.
Yeah, that's a bit of a worry for me. Toxic hasn't looked good tonight. They could obviously turn it around. We know that momentum doesn't always carry through on the maps. And Toxic has looked, at times this season, very, very potent. At times this season, especially tonight, anemic. It's not the kind of situation you want to be in when Nexus looks to be, full-bloodedly charging at you all day long and willing to take any fight you're going to give them.
Indeed, so we are underway, thankfully. And let's see, will this be mercifully short or will Toxic prolong the pain? Danger, danger, danger. They're coming towards that B-bomb site, and we've got an AFK as well, but does it really matter against this particular buy? Probably not.
No, it shouldn't matter much at all here. Toxic will be taking a rather... I mean, it's brave to save at this point, allowing Nexus to get to 15. Not many teams have shown the proclivity for doing that.
That's true. That does show a fairly considered approach. They lost the player at Nexus. He went to AFK and disconnected, but it doesn't matter. They got to 15. That's map point for them on map number 1. Do you remember the other night when we were covering Nexus and they played with 4 players anyway and still won?
Did they? Yes. Who was the person that was AFK for like half? Was it BTN, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just like, cool, boys, don't stress. I'm going to be AFK in spawn. Don't stress about me. Rest of the team just wrecking house, breaking in, stealing all the sweets, beating up the old man.
Why go for the sweets? Always go for the electronics.
Sweets give you more energy though, so you can steal more stuff.
That's a good point. Very good point.
Electronics also tend to be heavy, or at least back in the day they were. I mean, I've never understood why somebody would ever want to steal a CRT TV or a CRT computer screen. That just seems like unnecessarily heavy.
Well, we're having to make some strange conversation tonight because we've had a lot of pauses and issues. So let's hope the strange conversation continues because I quite enjoy it. If you don't, apologies. You mute us. So for Toxic, the question going on to train, because it does seem entirely likely that we're going to get to train. What can they do? I almost feel that they just need to start CT just to get some kind of momentum in the game.
Yeah, they probably do need to start CT. I think Nexus hasn't looked coordinated on the T side on train. They tend to just sort of win aim duels and power their way through like that. So I think Toxic, if they can start CT, just get a bit of wind in their sails. Maybe they can get enough runs on the CT side that Nexus might crumble under the pressure.
Well, I have to see. Nexus have not shown like a ton of tactical variation on T, but they haven't had to because they've tended to bang heads anyway. There's that new corner there that helps you bounce that around, and the bounce is not going to help him, but the help will come from Zello. 1 HP on Zello, still gets the headshot nonetheless, and BTN, he has completely flummoxed them here, got in behind them, and that will be the defense completely unlocked. That should be the game on this particular map. Steffa in a 1v4. Can he do anything? Gonna try his best.
This is best enough though.
Well, he gets the first one at least, so should be able to get into the site, and that's all he's going to get, just a few centimeters further before he gets dropped by BTN. That is the particular map for us, guys. Mirage in the hands of Nexus. They won the pick of Toxic. Now we go to Nexus's pick. Will it be more competitive than this, or will it be over quickly? I guess we shall see.
That we shall.
So we'll probably go to a break in a second, yeah? So we do appreciate you guys joining us for ESL SEC Season 7. And while we wait for that break to materialize, any final words?
No.
No. That's all you guys.
I mean, what else do you want me to say? What other words do I have? It's just brutal.
It was brutal. And you want to bring out the red eye meme, but it's overdone now, isn't it?
Yes. See, I'd rather go with that was. See, fatality doesn't seem that great. Maybe babality. And there was what, animality.
Oh yeah. Well, all of the Mortal Kombat references.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we are going to the break, guys. So we'll see you in about 10 minutes. Stick around.
Cheers.
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Get your team apparel now at shop.eslgaming.com.
Got to think Lagamonster's going to release the shot. Does, in fact. His teammate's gone down, and BTN, well, he probably shouldn't have survived getting through A main at all. That was being covered off, but the missed shot, I think, cost Primordial big time there. So impressive on map 1. I'm just super disappointed that they haven't brought that form here. Blitz does deliver a nice little moment there, gets himself a weapon as well. Stefo, he has shown a proclivity for good entries, but not going to help if he cops a AWP shot as he walks into the leg. Mark takes him down. And
There you go. I am not in position to stop the rush, so the bomb will go down, and that's all that Primordial really wants. They'll lose the players, but bomb plant, that's basically all they need. Zell with a fairly sexy looking flick there to clean up Orzek. But
there we go, Primordial into the bomb site they go. Jaxie catching them off actually, drops the bomb, recovered himself an AK and gets a third. In fact, could he get a fourth? He gets a fourth, Jaxie. He just blows them off the server.
town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
So it would appear that we are back ESL Southeast Europe Championship Season 7, and for some reason, we're starting at 3-0 for Nexus. Think maybe the players didn't wait for the admins or something like that, but don't know what the story is.
We were waiting for a server. Wait, they're starting from 3-0. We have a what?
Yeah, I tried to make sense of it. I couldn't make sense of it, unfortunately, but it looks like the game actually was live.
Oh, Go TV server.
Oh, did the Go TV server?
Yeah.
Not... Okay.
We got a potato Go TV server. That's what caused it.
Oh yeah, well, apologies for that, guys. So, did miss the pistol and the first couple of anti-ecos. Well, the first anti-eco must have been a bomb plant, hence why they're on pistols now. Toxic on the T side, definitely where they don't want to be, and for BTN, well, that's where he wants to be. He gets himself too, some nice work there. Against the pistols, no armor, of course, so this should be an easy round here for Nexus.
Yeah, rocking some big money there with that shotgun.
Steffa there with a very nice reply. Add some extra ventilation to IGM's head there. And on the angle here, he might find another, but he'll run into the pistol of Jaxi. And that will be that in that round. So 4-0 here. Again, apologies that we missed the beginning. Nothing to do with us. Unfortunately, the Go TV server just didn't work, so it was not broadcast to us. Sorry.
It happens.
So buy round here for Toxic, and just talking about the map in general, very heavily CT favored, like 10-5-ish is generally normal here, yes?
Yeah, 10-5, 11-4 if you're really pushing it. So Nexus, I mean, we said that Toxic needs to start on CT side.
Phew, Jaxi spotted him very nicely and got going there. Well, now he's under a bit of pressure though. There's definitely some trouble for him. Is he going to peek behind this? He's going to try, but he'll go down in a hail of gunfire there from Steffa. That's a very nice reply.
Yeah, it's a lovely spy, exactly.
Don't do it, duplicate. You don't want to run down that ladder and run into that particular weapon. Zillow, in the meantime, he's managed to get all the way through spawn and run in behind them. He gets 2. I didn't even see that happening on the minimap. And that'll be that in the round. So that was absolutely crushing from Nexus.
Yeah, Nexus with this, well, I wouldn't say trademark at this point. It's basically just who they are. It's aggression personified from Nexus, and once again dominating Toxic. 5-0 up now. Should be looking for a 6-0. I can't see Toxic really doing a whole lot of damage with the weaponry they've purchased.
Yeah, they're in a very negative situation in this game right now. And it'll do a bit of damage, but BTN is stationed there waiting for them to drop down, going for the classic double drop. Timing a little bit off there for BTN, and he's going to go down. And the warp shot missed as well. Actually, Steffa doing some great work here on the entry. He gets a third, in fact. He is blowing this round apart. Still 3v2. Now, as I say that, 2v2, in fact. Cementan sometime jumping in with some kills, and it leaves it to Steffa. He'd have to ace here. Shown that he's capable. Hasn't taken any damage himself. But it's going to be quite the uphill battle. Does look like he's quite intent on going towards that B-bomb site. We may also see him go down drop as well if he decides to be sneaky. And I think he might be doing just that, actually. No, never mind. He is going towards that ramp area, and Cemente, it's just going to be all down to the timing. Will he look at him at the right moment? And he does. That is the round. Double kill for him. Double kill for some time. And some impressive balancing skills there with the knife.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to give it up to Cementa, and sometimes really pulling it back into a rather, well, from a rather sketchy situation. Toxic was well favored to win that round. It was almost, what, 5 versus 3 at a stage, 5 versus 2. And quick kills bring it back level, and then they're able to clean it up.
Yeah, some great work. Let's see if the great work will continue. Or now that there's an... Oh, I was going to say it's an AWP, but it's actually a scout. Very nice headshot from Blink. Zelo feeling the pressure now to come back and get those trades, and he does that really well. The AWPer for Nexus usually on the rifle then. Doing some great work so far with the M4. BTN, he's being so aggressive here, and he'll get the spray down through the floor. Sometime also jumping in IGM, as he's also known, sending some bullets down range and finding their target. Duplicate's position surely known. He's going to get squeezed from all sides here.
Yeah, squeezed like a lemon or some other vague type of fruit.
Never squeeze fruit at the supermarket. They don't like it.
Yeah, that's because you're damaging it. Why would you do that at the supermarket?
I don't do that. I'm talking to other people.
Sure.
Wow.
Either way,
7-0.
Toxic squeezed out of this game.
Does feel like it right now on the force buy again. All clumped together as well. That kind of makes them a little susceptible to getting flanked, which we saw happen the last time they tried to go to this particular area of the map. And there's the flash. Actually, Zello gets flashed by his teammate's flash intended to help him out. So a little bit off with the timing there. Maybe a bit too eager to peek. But that is going to trigger the rotation here, surely. Duplicate was a nice entry as well. 3v5 and 3v4 now. Long-range fighting happening, but at these sorts of ranges, those CZs aren't going to be doing the damage. The Deagle has to be the weapon that rings out here. And it's going to be the last weapon that's left alive, and it will do nothing as BTN just slaps him across the face there with a 7.62mm round.
Yeah, slapped it like what? Slapped like with a wet fish, isn't it?
I think that's it. Or a pan if it's PUBG, right?
I don't play these heinous games.
You will never know the pleasure of AFK dropping and getting free kills.
That's terrible. I mean, today is... Wait. So, in America, Counter-Strike is not yet legally able to drink. 2 years from now. Today.
19 years old is Counter-Strike today, and happy birthday, Blink. Die. Raftu. Very nice angle from him. Maybe he can unlock things here for his team. They are in a numbers advantage for the first time in a while, despite Steph's low HP. Still, you can never count Nexus out. Even in these situations where they look like they're in a bit of trouble, they still seem to bring it back. And as I say that, Raftu, though, we haven't seen him show up in the series so far. Probably the best player for this team. He's been a bit quiet. But now doing enough to maybe get them this round. Still 2 alive for Nexus, though.
Yeah, 2 very deadly players alive for Nexus as well. Toxic desperately need to win this round. They're in with a chance of breaking Nexus' economy. Nexus hasn't had the most dominant round victories, to be fair, so Toxic could still make this happen. They're going to get kills there as well.
That pre-fire from Zello towards the left there of the train was quite fiendish. He could have gotten that kill. Gets 1 kill, in fact, and almost the spray down. In fact, they line up, and they line up so well the Duplicate kills his teammate. But still, it's a round for Toxic nonetheless, and at least a pat on the back to them that they were able to close it out. But losing so many players does mean that Zlatio is not in the greatest position when it comes to guns.
No, I mean, none of them are actually that great in terms of the weaponry. They will be cutting back on some of the extras. Only, what? Lots of flashes, not much else.
Drop has been such a difficult position for them to deal with so far, but finally dealing with it well. Zello, that is a really crazy angle to take, and he's going to be getting tons of damage. 2 kills, in fact, and taking a bunch of damage in return. Surely going to go down here to Duplicate. Sometime getting aggressive, hoping to maybe turn it back, and he just turns away at the wrong moment there. Now, I was going to say, things looking good here for the T's, and it almost looked to reverse before that kill came in for Blink. 3v1 here, Cemente. He's good with the rifle. Is he good enough? Not this time around.
Yeah, so Toxic accept their second round, and that's going to be a fantastic situation for them. They're really be looking very, very healthy now in terms of the weaponry. Keeping 3 players alive, Nexus will almost certainly be on the save, and this is when Toxic... It's the sun out, so it's time to make hay.
You've now contextualized that for me, and now I know what that figure of speech actually means, man.
Did you really not know? Believe you're being extremely facetious.
Facetious, yes, it's a hard word to say, isn't it?
Well, it's not as hard as Nexus can wreck this round.
Yeah, they really are, but they didn't have a lot of equipment to deal with, to be fair. Duplicate, I'm not sure you want to die in an engagement with the CZ when you don't have to. Rather let your teammates deal with it, and that's exactly what's going to happen there. Quick as you can blink, sometime will go down. 8-3, Toxic. Looking definitely back in it now, at least.
Yeah, 3 rounds is at the very least a start. It gives them some kind of rounds to play with, but Nex is still well in control at this point.
They're in the driver's seat. They're kicking out up a gear. Their hands are on the wheel. Cruise control is on. You know, all of the things that cost to say about like automotive turns, right?
I think it's only really one caster that does that. Most of the rest of us are somewhat potato-ish with automotive vehicles.
Geez, automotive vehicles. What do you know? Meanwhile, the CTs, they know a thing or two, getting some kills here. We're referring to Anders. He likes to say 5th gear.
Does he?
Yeah, he does. Oh, Zello, he might be in 5th gear at the moment. Double kill. He's looked really good. We haven't seen him on the AWP much, but with the M4, he is absolutely deadly right now. A lot of HP being knocked off these Nexus players, but they're all still very much alive. I think maybe he'll get one, but that is all that he'll get for himself. The only scalp that he'll claim, and they're going to get the free AWP there as well. 9-3. Very emphatic half win here for Nexus, and anything they get beyond this point they're going to feel is well deserved, and think of it as gravy, you know.
But what is the actual meal? Gravy on top of the meal? What is the meal?
I think the meal was on the previous map, 16-3.
That was a very tasty meal, though, especially for any Nexus fan.
Absolutely, still a buy available for Toxic, but not the strongest, because of course Raftu, probably the strongest player. He's not on a rifle. Never understand that, never will. But it's what teams do, right?
It's the Navi buy.
Simple on the UMP, while Zeus and Edward have AKs, right?
Simple on the Deagle, while Zeus rocks an AK. It's like, okay.
Talking about getting dropped. Blink dropped sometime, so that's a nice entry for them. They're congregating here towards this A entrance, trying to get out of main, and BTN under a lot of pressure now. Surely he's not able to do too much there, and he'll get caught. Jaxie, oh, he needed to hit that shot. That might be the round, in fact. Misses another shot as well, and he's not going to get any more opportunities at it. Probably time to save if you're Nexus, but Nexus don't like to save. We know this.
It's interesting that Zello's not on the AWP, though. Giving it to Jaxie is a bit of an interesting decision, to say the least.
Could be because he's doing so well at hitting everything, as I say that. With a rifle, he doesn't hit a single thing. But he has looked great, though, with the M4, so maybe
I'd still rather have him on an AWP, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely agree. He is their best player, for sure. And I mean, if you look at the scoreboard, 16-7, he's looking great already. But could it be even greater if he had a scoped rifle? Maybe.
I don't know if it could be greater. It'd certainly be higher.
Very tough buy here for Nexus. They'll still get a reply there. And in fact, more than that, BTN just the drive-by. This is a very dangerous round if you're Toxic. They're facing a less than ideal buy. They are getting kind of wrecked a little bit by that scout. Jaxie's done some big damage. He's on low HP though. But if it doesn't matter if he lands a headshot, does it?
No, it does not. I mean, he's doing a lot of damage, especially with the AK hanging around. These are the smallest chances as Toxic in the 1v1 now.
Jaxie doing his best elephant impression there, and I think he just realized, why am I running? Don't want to give away my position, surely. And this could be the double mind game going on. Steffa coming right around from where Jaxie just was. Will he necessarily be expecting this?
I'm just interested to see that Jaxie still has the scout.
Why didn't he pick up an AK or something else off the ground? Doesn't seem like he's interested.
No, it really doesn't.
Oh no, are you kidding me? He catches him with a nade in the hand, double headshots him. What luck. And some skill there to land the shots as well, but oh, that felt anticlimactic, didn't it?
Yeah, it did feel very, very anticlimactic. Not that Toxic can complain too much about that. They gave away way too many kills to Nexus and some rather underpowered weapons.
Triple auto shotties. Not something you see every day or say every day as a commentator.
Anthrax will be happy.
Oh, the alligators. One of them already dead, but the other one gonna bite. And going back for more of that auto shotty, just wrecking them. Zello is destroying all of them. Quad kill with an auto shotty. What is this? Is this Call of Duty? I'm not sure anymore.
I don't even know what to say to that. It's just such a stupid gun.
Rafter doing his best here, but his best is not going to be quite enough. All kills in that round were done by auto shotties for the CTs. What the hell?
Yeah, it's when you feel filthy.
Reddit indeed. Maybe one of you guys want to post it, I don't know. See, that's the funny thing. If you were the person who created the content, you can't post on Reddit, so I don't think I could post the clip, can I?
No, you would be auto-banned.
Yeah, auto-banned. Who wants that? Meanwhile, it is the pistol round CT side here for Toxic, and the game is slowly slipping from their grasp, and it could slip even quicker. Somehow getting out there sometime, but his teammates hanging him out to dry. They just didn't go out with him.
Yeah, not the way to do things. So, Nexus need to be fixing that up. As I said, they do have a bit of a problem with a lack of coordination.
Blink got himself a double kill there with the dualies, going for the troll gun, and it works out. But to be fair, Nexus made it kind of easy for them in that round, didn't they?
Made it very easy for them.
Nexus troll time. Yep, pretty much that. You've watched Nexus enough, haven't you, Alex?
Yeah, Alex definitely has watched enough Nexus to know what's coming.
So Blink seems to be pretty intense in trolling him back. Ooh, this play from BTN could be pretty big, and destroys him there. The kill still favoring the CTs rather heavily here. Sometimes going to have to pull off something heroic, and he starts it well. Got himself the first CZ kill. Is he necessarily going to be expecting Raf to? It does seem so. Reacted very well there, now in the 1v1. Nate could have actually done some damage, had sometimes stuck around, but he decided he ain't got no time for that.
Hey, nobody got time for that.
Oh, that is a very clever nade. Is it going to make Steffa think that he's going towards B? Seems to have drawn him over. The only thing is, of course, the bomb plant won't have happened, so that's going to make Steffa second guess his choice, I think.
I mean, Steffa wouldn't be able to hear the bomb plant going down unless he was close to B, so if Sometime plays it correctly, could actually get into a decent spot, get the bomb plant down, and then find a nice hidey hole. Sometime is taking an age to get this done, though.
Oh, and the timing that favors Nexus. It just seems like in these clutch moments, Nexus players just seem to have the read on the situation and have a bit of the run of luck as well.
Yeah, luck does seem to favor them pretty heavily. The gods of chance smile favorably on the Romanian side tonight.
Yeah, they've looked pretty good throughout. Glad to see no troll weapons in this particular round for Nexus. Maybe they do want to put Toxic out of their misery. BTN, he does a fair whack of damage there while fully flashed, and that's going to enable Jaxi to get in here and maybe do some damage from his position there in drop. Talking about damage, Blink doing some of his own, and oh, if he was on another weapon, he would have been on for another kill there. He gets the double nonetheless, bringing it into a 2v2 situation. Cemente, he's pretty low, but Zello, when Zello is alive, he is always a threat. But now with the HP, the scout could actually be quite effective.
Yeah, be very, very effective in this situation, but they need to hit them shots first.
Is he going to fight him? And oh, the timing again. Zlatio turns away and he goes down. Nexus winning yet another clutch.
I mean, at this point, how many times can they get lucky. It really just does seem a little bit ridiculous that Nexus gets these perfect timings so often. But I mean, hey, fortune favors the bold.
They have they've done what
Of
they
course
needed
there
to make RNGs happy. They've ingratiated
Yeah.
themselves.
Well, I was also going to say that like there's also a thin line between bravery and stupidity.
You would have thought it's maybe a bit stupid for them to go for dual Mac 10s here, but it seems to be working out. The kills coming in thick and fast for Nexus. And that AWP is only going to find the single kill here on Blink, and it won't find nothing more. And that's probably a free AWP there for Nexus if they want to pick it up. BTN managed to get it 14-5 here, and it's only around 20. I don't think it's going to go 30 rounds somehow.
I don't think so either, unless Nexus really does go full on Nexus.
Yeah, if they start trying to knife the opposition, then maybe things might not work out so well. Unfortunately, because of that attempted hero AWP buy there for Blink, it has left him in a little bit of trouble. And talking about trouble, that's probably Zello's middle name. He got a double kill on entry before being replied on. And things are starting to unravel here. Unless Lachio can do something big and maybe catch BTN off here. In fact, he does, so it brings it back just briefly. And again, sometime always on point when it comes to these clutch situations. He didn't even really have to clutch that much considering he still had a teammate left alive. But in the 1v1, it will favor Nexus. Fortune favors the brave and fortune favors Nexus tonight.
Yeah, it does indeed seem to be. I mean, I don't know. Have they slept with Fortune recently? Because she seems to really enjoy them tonight.
Must have been a good night.
Definitely.
Put on a vintage performance. Talking about vintage performances, Blink has looked so good with that scout doing some big work. That has helped things, but somehow the troll by Cemente, it's working out for him and they're getting the kills back. This should not be happening, but it is happening. Stefan, another 1v2. That's happened so much to him on the first map. And that will have told him exactly where he is. Still gets the first kill, and he could get the second, but he is going to be denied with the machine gun, the M249, the troll buy. It works out for Nexus. 16-5 after a 16-3 on the first map, making it look easy.
Yeah, making it look very, very easy. Unfortunately, Nexus just too much in the tank tonight. Toxic don't really know how to handle that kind of aggression.
Too hot to handle, I guess, is where we're going with that particular one. But hey, that puts them in a pretty good position. We will get to see them again tomorrow night against Primordial. That's the decider for who actually goes through in second place. Toxic already secured first place, but they're not going to feel like winners after getting wrecked tonight.
No, definitely not. I do think that, unfortunately, for Toxic, going to need to, they say go back to the drawing board. I think they might need to go back to the crayons to figure out what the hell is going on here because, yeah, Nexus utterly thumped them.
Yep, we have a word for it in South Africa, but even repeating that on an ESL stream, I'm probably not allowed to. But let's just say they got hit while running. You know, the person who hit them was running past while it happened.
Mean, you could just say it's three words that actually work perfectly with RPK's name.
It does. But that'll be us for tonight, guys. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe to the channel. Go follow us over on Twitter, and we'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.
Cheers.
welcome to the ESL Southeast European Championship.
Gotta be honest though, I mean, at this point, it is a chance for Sinners to get...
How has he been able to just shift through like that? He's not getting
Oh!
He will, maybe another ace on the...
Oh, man!
4 kills, 1 player left, and then it's the ace.
Here comes the Bane with a double kill, and here comes the follow-up, and Jack is wanting to follow up there, and we see the triple kill come out and taking down Poppy, and they are continuing to push this one. You are going to want to get out of there. You don't have to doubt to that one, but there comes the Quadra. Oh, we're going to see the Penta